Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Front Office Sports is reporting that the Carolina Panthers are eyeing Sean Payton, and that they're willing to wait a year as Payton explores TV this season. Sean Payton did an interview on Morton Anderson's podcast. Says he'll have a decision on what TV deal he expects to take soon. He's got offers from both Amazon and Fox Sports. Fox was the only network that offered Sean Payton a contract during the Bountygate year. So apparently he's got an offer to be a studio analyst for Amazon's Thursday Night Football and a game/studio analyst for Fox, meaning he would do both. He'd be a studio analyst, but he'd be a game analyst. Let's say this, okay? Let's go back to when Sean Payton retired. We can all acknowledge that nobody, I want to speak in absolutes, few people expect Sean Payton to stay retired from coaching. Is that fair? There have already been connections to Dallas, Chicago, Miami, and now you hear Carolina. When there's that much smoke, whether it is initiated by Payton or his representatives seeking opportunities, or if it's inbound interest, people calling Payton, teams calling Payton to express interest, the interest is enough that it's clearly notable and noteworthy. I think the real question is, for how long will Sean Payton stay out of coaching before he gets back in? He's 58. Of course, he's remarried. We know that. When he retired, resigned from the Saints. We referenced Bill Parcells, who is Sean Payton's mentor. Parcells did that in the early 90s when he left coaching, went and worked for NBC for a couple of years, then got back into coaching. We all expect Sean Payton is going to do the same thing at some point. The question is where. Dallas is the most obvious. He's got a home there. We all talked about it forever. If the McCarthy thing blows up, it would make a lot of sense. The Miami conversation was really interesting about the possibility of Brady and Payton being there together, although some deny it, whatever. I understand and expect any team to call Sean Payton in the same way that we talk about free agent players and how you're negligent if you're not calling about that player or inquiring or seeing what the possibility is. I would say the same about Payton. Unless if you're in New England with Parcells or you are set with your coach and you're thrilled with the person you have, Kansas City with Andy Reid, you're good there. Unless if you're that, you better be inquiring about Sean Payton just to see what it would take. Now, look, Bruce Arians went and did TV with CBS for a year before he went back in with Tampa Bay. I think we saw Urban Meyer leave coaching, go to TV, then back with the Jags. Now he's expected to go back to TV. The John Gruden thing, now that was a decade-long foray into television before he got back into coaching, and then that ended very badly, as we all know. But for what it's worth, a Panthers representative told Front Office Sports, and this is in the piece there at Front Office Sports, the Panthers representative said, we would talk, and I'll read the quote here from the Panthers rep that spoke to Front Office Sports. Said, we would not talk to or consider a coach who is under contract with another team. Sean Payton is under contract with the Saints through 2024. So we all know this, if a team wants to hire Sean Payton, they will have to compensate the New Orleans Saints if they want to hire Sean Payton before 2024. So he's under contract for 22, 23, and the 24 seasons, for the next 3 seasons. Sean Payton wants to get back into coaching over the next 3 seasons and somebody hires him, it's going to cost them. They're going to have to compensate the Saints, likely with draft capital. If you're a Saints fan and you've already moved on, or if you're the New Orleans Saints and you've moved on, I mean, you've promoted Dennis Allen, you are moving forward without Sean Payton. It would be disgusting to see Sean Payton in the NFC South. It would be awful to see him coaching the Carolina Panthers. I would rather him in Miami. Go to the AFC, go somewhere far away. Even in Dallas, you're still in the NFC and you're close enough, and it would just be gag-worthy. And eventually you're going to run into him and you'd hate to see it. But it feels like an inevitability. Every Saints fan, it feels like we have all just resigned ourselves to the reality that Sean Payton's going to coach again somewhere, and it's not going to be in New Orleans. So we're going to expect to see it at some point. It's going to suck, but it's what it is. And you'd like it to be as least impactful as possible. Carolina would be awful. I don't know why Sean Payton would want the Carolina job. You have good ownership there with David Tepper, who's a billionaire. I mean, all owners are billionaires, but he's like a super billionaire. And you'd have certainly the support. It would make sense. Matt Rule's entering year 3. It's been a disaster there, and he's probably not going to be back after this season. So Carolina could well be looking for a coach, but then you have someone in the front office say, we would not talk to or consider a coach who's under contract with another team. If they stand by that, then Sean Payton's not an option. But if you're the Saints and you're resigned to the fact that Sean Payton's going to coach somewhere else, you would almost rather it happen next year because you don't have a first-round pick. And if you know he's going to coach anyway, rip the Band-Aid off and get a first-round pick in next year's draft, which you don't have right now. So, I mean, I kind of shrug my shoulders and I've just accepted the fact that he's going to coach again. It's not going to be in New Orleans. I'd rather it be sooner than later so that way the Saints can recoup this draft capital and get something for Sean Payton, whatever that may be, however that may look. And there's no better year than next year because you don't have a first-round pick. So, I don't think it would be Carolina because there's nothing appealing there. They don't have a quarterback. I mean, new ownership, obviously. Maybe they give him a ton of autonomy. Maybe he could draft a player. Does he really want to go through that, or does he want a situation like Bruce Arians where you inherit a player? If you went to Dallas, you'd inherit Dak Prescott. There are just better situations than Carolina. I understand why Carolina would call. Bottom line, I don't care where Sean Payton goes. I mean, I do, but if he's going to do it, rip the Band-Aid off, do your year in TV, get back into coaching somewhere else, and the Saints get a first-round pick for next year's draft. That's what I would like to see. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.